Greenstylers, and welcome to the Greenstyle Spark Tights Sew Along. I am Cynthia Hendrickson, your host for this sew along, and I am really excited to welcome you to my sewing loft where we will be stitching up some spark tights together in the coming week. If you are catching me post these videos, you will have the joy of participating in a sew along this week where you can enter your spark tight completed garment pictures to win prizes from Greenstyle and also our other wonderful sponsor, Sew Dynamic Fabric. If you are catching this video in the future, then you can still sew along with this video. Find my Spark Tights playlist on the YouTube channel here, So Casually Chic, and you can just follow all the videos 1 through 5 in order to complete your Spark Tights. Then head over to the Greenstyle Facebook group and find me and my list of the latest sew along videos. You can just ask in the sewing group, so you don't have to go searching for it. But I am doing sew alongs where you can win prizes and join in all the fun about once every 6 weeks. So there's sure to be something coming up, and I'm really happy to have you join in. Back to this sew along. I mentioned our wonderful fabric sponsor, Sew Dynamic Fabric. They are gifting us a $50 gift certificate for one of our winners, who is going to be randomly selected from people who complete their spark tights during the sew along and post a picture in the Facebook group. I'm so excited to give that away and can't wait to see what you buy. Now, through April 20th, 2022, you can also use a 15% coupon from Sew Dynamic, which is a really nice discount. I used mine already, and purchase fabric from Sew Dynamic. Sew Dynamic features fabrics with a fabric called Reprieve, which is made from recycled plastic bottles. Isn't that so cool? I love recycling. I do composting. I do everything I can to try and be kind and limit the amount of waste and carbon footprint that I make on the earth, but I also love new fabrics. Buying fabrics from Sew Dynamic is a great way to sort of do both, get your great new fabrics and still recycle plastic bottles. So Greenstyle has also given a coupon code toward the sew along, and this is good through the end of the sew along. And you can get 25% off your Spark Tights pattern. I have the coupon codes and the links to both of these discounts in my blog, which is socasuallychic.wordpress.com, and I recommend going over there and taking a look at my sew along post. It details everything that you need to know to participate in this sew along and win prizes. And I've also included links to everything that you would want for this sew along in the description of this video. So just go to the YouTube video, click to open up the description, and you'll see links to everything that you may want to know. Let's take a look at the Spark Tights and all of their fun features. I'm really excited about this pattern, and I think that you'll like it a lot.
Well, hello, here I am in my beautiful Sparks outfit. I love how the colors of this Sew Dynamic fabric flow all the way from the top to the bottom of this beautiful Misty Trees panel. So the Spark Tights, look at me go. From the front piece with no front crotch seam, it's really easy to eliminate pattern matching. The super deep pockets, you can even put a water bottle in there, and the beautiful style lines that just flow all the way from the bottom to the top. There's a back arch that has no seam line at all, and it's nice and smooth, and it really flatters your figure. The waistband comes in different low, medium, and high rises, and this one is the high rise. There's also an ultra contour high rise in case your waist is much smaller than your hip. That one's really nice. This outfit is just gorgeous. I'm wearing the Elevate crop top that just leaves a little sliver of skin showing, and I have the bands. Underneath, I have a power sports bra that you can't see at all. I love my Sparks and Elevate. I hope you do too.
Today is day 1 for the sew along. So our task for today is choose your size, print and assemble your pattern, and prepare your fabric for cutting. I discussed choose your size in my blog. I will discuss it very briefly here. When you open up the pattern, you'll see a size chart, and you'll see the sizes B through M, which may seem unusual to you if you're not familiar with sewing Greenstyle. But what we want you to do is take your measurements with measuring tape and choose your size based on the measurements in that chart. First, take your hip measurement, and that is going to be your base measurement for choosing your size. Then you'll take your waist measurement. You'll take your thigh measurement and your calf measurement. If they all fall under the same size, then lucky you, you can just print one size, tape it all together and cut it out, and that will be your size for the pattern. If, like most people, you fall into different size ranges, because we all have wonderfully unique and different body shapes and sizes, you may want to blend sizes so that you can get the best fit of your tights. I'm going to show you how to blend sizes. So what you're going to want to do for printing is choose the sizes that you fall into and print all of those sizes together. So it's probably 2, maybe 3 sizes that you'll choose, and then unchoose all the rest of them, and then I'll show you what to do. All right, let's talk about blending sizes. The first circumstance that I'd like to show you is if you have a larger hip than thigh, then you would want to print out the sizes that your range falls into, and then to blend, you would start up here and blend down toward the thigh area. So, for example, if your hip is this larger size and then your thigh is the smaller size, you would blend like so. And follow the line like this. And you just want to make it a smooth transition as possible, and you would do it on both sides. Like so. Okay? And then so you would start out at the larger size, do the blending here, and then follow the smaller size the rest of the way down. You would also, that's the front piece, and you would also need to do it to the back piece, and you would just do it right here and blend down. You can do this over more than one piece as well. And notice this line, I'm making sort of a curvy line. Do you want to follow the curve of the pattern pieces? You can do it over more than one size if you want, but you will notice that the thigh measurements, your thigh measurement probably falls into multiple sizes. So if you are sizing down multiple sizes from your hip to your thigh, maybe start by sizing down from your hip to the largest size that your thigh falls into, rather than the smallest size that your thigh falls into. Then you can take it in more if you need to, but you can't go the other way. Okay, another circumstance would be if your hip is smaller than your thigh, and it would basically just be the opposite. You would start on the inner side, the smaller size, and then you would gently come out to the larger size. And you would do that on both sides. Just make it as smooth of a transition as you can. And you would do the same thing on the back piece, which, here's a smaller version that I printed out. But the smaller to the larger would look something like that. Okay? Okay, another situation that you might need to grade would be if your hip and your waist are different sizes. So if your waist is smaller than your hip, then you can use the contour or the ultra contour waistband. So here are the waistband pieces. Your lines would look from smaller waist coming outward down to the larger hip, just like so. Okay. If your waist is larger than your hip, you'll want to do the regular contour waistband and not the ultra contour waistband. The line you would draw would look like this. Okay, with the larger waist going down to a smaller hip. Okay, so larger waist than hip, and this would be smaller waist than hip. Again, smaller waist than hip, use either waistband. Larger waist than hip, use the regular contour waistband. I hope this helps. And just in case you're wondering, if you are making changes from the hip to thigh, you should not need to change anything on your pocket because we are not adjusting this curve here. Use the pocket piece that matches your hip measurement, and then it should line up exactly with your back piece and you'll be just fine. So don't worry about messing with your upper back insert or your pocket piece if you're changing from hip to thigh, or if you're changing from hip to waist, because the hip to waist change happens above that piece as well. The fabric that I used for this set is called Misty Trees from Sew Dynamic, and let me show you a little close-up of these beautiful trees. It all comes in one single panel, and this is the top of the panel, and so I used it for this Greenstyle Elevate crop top, and underneath I'm wearing a Power Sports bra, which hides perfectly under the Elevate racer back version. But look at these beautiful trees. Aren't they just gorgeous? And the back, they get lighter and lighter as you go up, and then darker toward the bottom. Let's see if I can show you the bottom close up. See, there's a lot more green down toward the bottom, and then as you go up, it gets lighter and more blue. Oh, I'm just obsessed with this panel. So this outfit I got out of one of the large scale panels. There's also a small scale panel, but I also have some excess that I'm gonna use for maybe another sports bra or possibly some shorts. So we'll see how much I have left and what I'm able to do with it, but I am just loving how it feels. It's nice and thick. It feels very supportive, like it holds me in. I'm really enjoying it, and I think that you will too. Now that you've chosen, printed your size, and made any adjustments on your pattern pieces that you need, you'll want to prepare your fabric for cutting. And the best way to do that is to put it in the wash and wash it in the same manner that you will after it's been sewn into a completed garment. So for the Reprieve fabric that you get from Sew Dynamic, they recommend washing in cool water and then drying on medium heat. And then I like to air dry all of my athletic wear for the last part of it at least, if not for the whole part, because I don't want it to be the fabric and the elastane or lycra in it. I don't want that to be compromised by the heat of the dryer. So usually what I'll do is wash all of my fabric in cold or warm water, and then as I'm putting it in the dryer, I'll pull out my athletic pieces and just hang them up to dry on their own. So that's my little tip for how to take care of athletic fabric and make it last longer. But you'll want to just wash it however you're going to be washing it, and then your fabric will be ready for cutting.